Hey guys, welcome to 2021. This is the Nerd Hangout. Sorry guys, just want to start off to say sorry guys, my throat is a little bit sore. Sorry guys, my throat is a little bit sore. Don't worry, it's not corona. I've been tested. Anyway guys, we have arrived to 2021 and we are a bit in January now since this first episode is coming out. This will be the first episode on the Nerd Hangout since the new year, but I did tell you before that I'm not going to be so consistent with the Nerd Hangout episodes in the beginning of the year because I am focusing primarily on our podcast, which you can hear every Friday. Now let's take a look back to 2020. Maybe let's not go there. No, I think Jim Carrey said it best.
I'd like to take a moment before we begin to close our eyes and meditate on the year that just passed. Ah! Ah!
Yeah, 2020 was a year to remember. Anyway, enough of looking back in the past. It is time for us to look forward. So what is 2021 going to bring us? What will we get in the new year? And I'm thinking about movies. I'm thinking specifically on DC and Marvel movies. Now, DC is not coming with that much, but Marvel is coming with some things. There's so many things that have been pushed back because of this corona epidemic. So let's look at some of the things that are going to be released now in 2021 and their release dates. Let's go. So yeah, there's a lot to look at, guys, and yeah, I just have to repeat myself and say that I have a common cold. And I feel fine, it's just my voice and my throat. There is still a thing called the common cold. So yeah, but there are a lot of things to look forward to in 2021. 2020 is past us. We didn't get any releases worth the while in 2020. 2020 just was chaos. But let's take a quick look at what is to come. And we're going to start with DC. DC has only 2 movies that are set to come out, and of course the first one is a big one, and that will be the Snyder Cut. There's a lot of talk of the Snyder Cut, Justice League. There's a lot of clips on YouTube you can watch about that. I've talked about it myself, and there's no doubt that this is going to be an exciting movie. It's going to be a 4-hour movie that will be cut down into a streaming service for HBO Max. So it's going to be probably 3 to 4 movies, but there is also talk about being a full movie release, which is going to be a long one. And all of them that I'm mentioning here today, this must be one of the ones I am most excited for, especially when you have seen the older one. So yeah, Zack Snyder has a lot to live up for. There's so many people excited about this movie. There's so many people looking forward to what we're going to get from Zack Snyder's Justice League. It is set to be released in March 2021. The next movie we're going to talk about is The Suicide Squad. Now, I am semi-excited for this movie, but I must say, I was more excited for the first one, and it was a bit of a letdown, but the fact that it is James Gunn that is behind it, it kind of gives me hope, so I am excited about seeing this movie. So we are hopeful, and the sneak peeks and stuff like this looks kind of good. James Gunn is the director, which gives me a lot of hope, so it should be a good movie. Let's hear for hoping, guys. Now, researching this, it looks like all the rest is being pushed back to 2021 when it comes to DC movies, talking about The Flash, Black Adam, The Batman, and so on. So there's not so much more to say about DC. But we are going to look to Marvel. Let's go. First off, we have the TV show WandaVision starting up now. I'm excited for this TV show because we know there's going to be a direct link between the Marvel Universe, Cinematic Universe, and the TV show is going to be released on Disney+. Compared to so many other Marvel TV shows and DC TV shows, there's always the question, is there a connection between cinematic movies? And I love that this is going to be a fact. And I'm also excited about this because it is said it will open the doors to the multiverse and have a link to the upcoming Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness movie. And there's much talk about Spider-Man 3 crossover that will also be affected when we open the doors to the multiverse. Exciting. WandaVision is set to be released on January 15, 2021. Morpheus. Now this movie I am looking forward to. It was to be released in summer 2020. It is a Sony movie, and if you did not know Morpheus, he is a villain of Spider-Man in the first appearance, but over the years he has developed more into this kind of anti-hero. This movie, the trailer looks awesome. Jared Leto looked very cool playing Morpheus, so I'm very excited about this movie as well. It's supposed to be released on March 19th, 2021. Falcon and the Winter Soldier TV show. Not much is known about this show, but it most certainly will have a story arc about Steve Rogers, aka Captain America, passing the torch to the Falcon. Like I said, there's not much known about this TV series, but I'm really looking forward to seeing it in March 19, 2021. Black Widow. This movie has had multiple release dates. It was also teased to just be released directly to Disney Plus, because the fate of the Black Widow movie just seemed darker and darker, and movie theaters just wouldn't open. But instead it was pushed further down the calendar. The movie is about Natasha Romanoff. It is said to be in the timeline between after Captain America Civil War and before the Avengers Infinity War. It is teased that it will have a lot of flashbacks about Black Widow and her backstory. The release date is set now to be the 7th of March, 2021. Loki, the TV show. Tom Hiddleston returns as the god of mischief in Loki. The Disney Plus series is the first example of the MCU telling us a story set outside of the main MCU timeline. It will follow the Loki who escaped from the Avengers in 2021 using the Tesseract, as shown in Avengers Endgame. The show story remains a bit of a mystery, but it will see Loki team up with the Time Variance Authority and seemingly visit multiple alternate MCU timelines, which sounds kinda cool. The release date is May 2021. No date is specified. Marvel's What If. Now Marvel Studios is diving into an animated content for this movie. The Disney Plus show will take known events in the MCU and put a special twist on them to show what would happen if things went differently. Some of the confirmed storylines include Peggy Carter becoming Captain America instead of Steve Rogers, T'Challa becoming Star-Lord instead of Peter Quill, and one involving a zombified version of Captain America. Most of the actors from the MCU are reprising the roles for voice performings in Marvel's What If. Release date summer of 2021. Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Another Sony release. Tom Hardy returns to star Eddie Brock aka Venom with Woody Harrelson set as the main villain, Cletus Kasady aka Carnage. The appearance of Carnage was teased in Venom's post-credit scene. Story details for Venom Let There Be Carnage are not yet known, although there are persistent rumors that the cameo by Tom Holland as Peter Parker aka Spider-Man could be in store. The release date for Venom Let There Be Carnage is said to be on June 25th, 2021. ShangChi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Marvel's first Asian-led superhero film is coming in 2021 with ShangChi and the Legends of the Ten Rings. Simu Liu leads the cast of the title character, also known as the Master of Kung Fu. There are no returning MCU characters confirmed to make an appearance in ShangChi, but it will be the depth of the real Mandarin, played by Tony Leung. The story details for the movie have yet to be revealed officially. ShangChi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is set to be released July 9th, 2021. Hawkeye, the TV show. Marvel Studios is finally giving Jeremy Renner's Clint Barton a solo project in 2021 with Hawkeye. The series picks up after the events of Avengers Endgame and will see Clint train the MCU next Hawkeye, Kate Bishop. Exact story details are unknown, but the Disney Plus show appears to be heavily borrowed from Matt Fraction's run in the comics. Hawkeye will introduce several new characters to the MCU. Disney Plus will debut the first episode of Hawkeye in fall of 2021. The Eternals. Currently viewed as one of the richest movies made by Marvel Studios, Eternals will finally get a chance to show everyone what it's got in 2021. The movie features one of the biggest and best assemblies of the MCU has ever assembled for a non-Avengers film. Eternals stars Angelina Jolie, Salma Hayek, Richard Madden, Kumail Nanjiani, Gemma Chan, Kit Harington, Barry Keoghan, Lauren Ridloff, Brian Tyree Henry, Don Lee, and Liam McHugh. It will introduce the Eternals, a group of superhumans created by the Celestials as they re-embark to protect Earth from the Deviants. The story will also take place over the course of 7,000 years. Eternals will be out in theaters on November 5th, 2021. Ms. Marvel. 2021 will bring the MCU debut of Kamala Khan in Mrs. Marvel. The Disney Plus series stars newcomer Iman Vellani as the recent but incredibly popular comic character. Kamala Khan is a Muslim American living in New Jersey when she gets polymorphic abilities due to her inhuman genes. She also happens to be an Avengers superfan who specifically looks up to Captain Marvel's Brie Larson. Ms. Marvel comes out on Disney Plus in late 2021. Then there is Spider-Man 3. Now this will be the big one, guys. If you go on the web and you type in Spider-Man 3 on YouTube or anywhere else, there are tons of discussions and videos talking about this wonder, and here is why. Sony and Marvel are said to be collaborating for this final piece of Marvel content in 2021 with the still untitled Spider-Man Homecoming 3. Tom Holland returns as the star as Spider-Man, with Zendaya back as MJ, Marissa Tomei back as Aunt May. And other regulars from the franchise are returning also from Sony's version of Spider-Man. The movie will feature a story that appears to be extremely tied to the multiverse. Doctor Strange is confirmed to appear in some fashion, but characters from other Spider-Man universes are also to visit, like Electro's Jamie Foxx and Doc Ock Alfred Molina, as we know from Sony's Spider-Man 2 from Tobey Maguire. They're supposedly back, with reports also suggesting that Tobey Maguire himself and Andrew Garfield will both appear as Spider-Mans from other universes. Now, most of these extra characters are confirmed, but we don't know in what shape or form. Will it be a major Spider-Man crossover, or is it all just a marketing scheme? If it is, there are going to be a lot of disappointing fans. But like I said, we've come so far now that we actually were promised a Spider-Man 3 trailer, but that didn't happen because people speculate that there's a lot of contract negotiations still going on between Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. But as far as Jamie Foxx and Alfred Molina, they have been confirmed, even been seen on studio where they are recording Spider-Man 3. Now this would be epic if this is going to be a fact. And people are skeptical, but I like to get my hopes up. So as you can see, guys, there actually are a lot of things that are exciting for us to see what is coming, and the sad part of this is that all of these release dates are in the US. So for us here in Denmark, Scandinavia, Europe, Britain, we don't know exactly how the release dates are gonna affect us, especially if things do not get better with this corona pandemic. But we hope so much that it won't affect us too much, so we can be on the same bandwagon as the rest of you guys. Or in some shape or form that it doesn't get too much pushed back and we get to see it too late. That will be very sad. But we do remain hopeful. There are a lot of goodies for us here to be seen in the new year. Anyway guys, this was this day's episode, and see you next time, nerds. Goodbye. The rest of the cast includes Aquafine, Michelle Yeho, Florian Montiel. Oh, these names are killing me. I am so sorry that I am brutally murdering these names. Leah McHugh. I'm so sorry. These names. About seeing this movie.